Hello.
Hi.
And welcome to Better in Stereo, a monthly podcast in collaboration between the Walleye and Blueprints. I'm Rebekah Skochinski.
And I'm Shannon Lepere.
And we will be your hosts. Brothers, boys, bandmates. The Lockyer Boys, Charlie and Will, have big dreams for the year ahead. They joined us in studio at Blueprints to share their musical beginnings and more.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
So you guys are doing lots of school shows still.
Yes.
And you just had your show at the auditorium. Can you give us like a recap on how that was?
Well, the school shows have been wild.
Of course.
Like they don't stop. They only stop in the summer.
And then it's really boring.
And then it gets really boring. It gets really quiet. We'll do a couple like big shows, and then we get right back into school shows. So like we've been doing lots, and well, we're kind of done Thunder Bay. We're gonna do another group of school shows like for 1 week, like one every day for a week here in Thunder Bay. Yeah, just like 5 schools that we haven't done yet, but like we should. So we're doing them. But then mainly it's Toronto and Winnipeg that are starting to blow up. Like Winnipeg has been huge for us.
Ottawa, been sort of.
We're trying to do Ottawa again.
And then like Dryden and.
Right.
Yeah.
So what does a school show entail?
Yeah.
Well, I guess one thing to mention is like we're doing these new ones in Thunder Bay because we're partnered with Breakfast Club of Canada. So now we go and it's like a big fundraiser for that. We started doing like food drives and then we were like, you know what? Let's just do it the real way. And
the food,
so we
partner up.
We did it and so we're doing it with Breakfast Club of Canada. Where we just show up and they like us.
Is there breakfast?
No, there's no breakfast. That would be cool if there was. I think they already have the breakfast.
Anyway, maybe they eat the breakfast first, then they come see the show.
We usually play in the afternoon.
Okay.
Sometimes there's lunch.
Breakfast. Maybe lunch.
Lunch would be cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
So you set up in their auditorium or
usually
their gymnasium or wherever.
Their gym.
And we do it. We usually have like a little crew with us, and
it's a 30-minute show, so super quick.
Okay.
We like, and it's fun. It's kind of like a podcast. Like we're chatting, and then we're singing songs, and then we're like they're cheering, they're loving it, and like we're getting them hyped up, and then we do a little Q&A after, and then we even like as they're all exiting the gym, we're like signing posters for them, taking pictures, and that takes way longer than the show.
Yeah, I'm sure.
600, 1,000 kids. So you're just
how fun.
You're just ripping off posters.
You're like my hand.
Yeah. Most of the time, I'm sitting there going, "Oh my god, yeah, great, tell me more. Oh my god," and Will's like, "Charlie, sign more."
Yeah, just keep signing chocolate.
You're like, "Give me your one hand, we'll sign it."
Yeah. So
sometimes they take it with just one signature too. Like they'll just be like, "I'll sign it." They'll be like, "Thanks." It's like you forgot the other brother.
They're like, "I'm the other half."
Yeah.
The kids, I feel like you're going to remember this. I remember when I was a kid, aging myself. I won't say what year,
Okay,
but Rodney Brown came and played at our gym, and it's like anytime they brought somebody in. Like that, it was
exciting.
Just so cool.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my gosh, they're playing like a concert.
Same here. I remember when like a rock band came, like a full-on band. It was like for like a talent show.
Okay.
We had a talent show like at our elementary. I mean, you were at the same school, so I'm surprised you don't remember. But like a full-on rock band with like a drummer played, and I'm sure they were terrible.
Do you remember who it was?
Well,
I mean,
think
we probably don't want to
in
name
our
them.
school.
Oh, okay.
So I'm sure, like because everyone at that age, you're just
like the grade 8s or something had a band.
Whatever.
Yeah,
like,
we have a band.
We weren't that good in grade 8 either. But like I think to us, like when we were in like grade 2 or like JK,
it was like
just insane.
Oh yeah,
You're
stars
like,
in your eyes.
Those kids go to our school.
Yeah.
Like, how cool is this?
It was the coolest thing
that's fun.
ever. Yeah, I literally can't remember at all. I just remember it being so sick.
The school shows are crazy though, because we just did one in Winnipeg that was. I feel like it was 1,200 kids.
That's so many kids.
It's like it's insane. They
JK to grade 9.
You know, like a regular gym, like the size of a basketball court.
Yeah.
And then you go to like a bigger school and it has like 2 basketball courts beside each other. This one had 1, 2, 3, and then another one like horizontally along the 3. So it was a huge gym, and it was like
we had 2 speakers.
And you were like, "Hello."
We're like, how's everybody
We needed
doing?
12.
It was crazy. Yeah.
And there was
That
like
is so
bleachers
fun.
and everything, and it was just packed. That was
It was hype.
It was called Bernie Wolf. So shout out to
Shout
Bernie
out to
Wolf.
Bernie Wolf School.
If they're listening
Nice.
in Winnipeg.
Oh my gosh.
Cool.
They were
And
so
the best
fun.
audiences.
I'm sure some of those
and the
kids
best
are
fan,
watching this.
right? Like they're just
It's great.
into it.
Yeah,
So would
we
you
love
say
it.
that like your fan demographic is like more on the elementary school age side?
It definitely is.
We started doing school shows when I was done high school, which was like 2 years ago. So the kids that were in grade 8 are now in grade like 10.
Yeah.
But we also like
you have your fans that follow you.
Like once a fan, always a fan.
Yeah.
Well, and like we're meeting new people. Like we just did a mall show in Winnipeg, and there was like
there's
older people.
Yeah,
there.
there's
like
people older than us that are taking pictures.
Like people that would go, and we're doing a show in Toronto that's like a 19+ venue.
Nice.
And we're headlining like the Drake Underground in Toronto and doing that.
Fun.
So we're pretty cool with that.
Yeah, so maybe like in your roots, it's been the school shows, but now it's like branching out more to like
exactly.
And then as your fans get older, then
and
exactly. Then the music is getting.
I remember I was at the movie theater in Thunder Bay, like. This would have been maybe last year or the year before, just as sort of the schools were starting. And I was there with my friend, and we're watching this movie, whatever. Came out at the end, and there was like a group of people waiting, I guess, for like me to leave. And so and then they were like, hey, and I was like, hey, and we ended up taking a picture. I got my friend to take a picture of us and everything. And I was like, oh, like, what school do you guys go to? And they're like, Hammersholt. And I'm like, oh, okay, so I must have played for you guys like last year. Like, what school did you go to last year? And they're like,
I'm a grade 11.
Hammersholt.
You're like,
I'm like, oh, like you're not like an elementary school. Like you just kind of like found us online or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So we have that too.
Yeah.
We have a lot of high school now, I would say.
Yeah.
And I think as we release more music, we're starting to expand, you know what I mean, and try to just make the music more us, and we're not in high school anymore.
Well,
so
no, you're
us
like,
as you do,
college,
right?
right?
Like,
so
you evolve as musicians, as people.
Exactly.
I mean, I think that's
exactly. And I think, you know, all the fans that we're gaining now, it's like they'll
well, and there's so many facets of that. Like there's the kids, but then their parents, and then you know, their friends and whatever. And I mean, I've been to many of your shows. You played at my son's school, I think 2 years ago, and he like still talks. It was Kingsway.
Oh,
so he still talks about that. He's like, you know, and then we saw you last summer and the summer before, and you know, he's like, you know, a little starry-eyed, but like he doesn't really say much about it, but like he's like, I know, I met them, and you're like, it's very cute. And he was like in kindergarten at that time when you would have played, so it was like he was little.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so
he would have
cute.
been right up front.
The best is when they're like a little bit, I don't know, nervous or whatever. And like the parents will be like, they love you.
They
don't
want
they're gonna freak out when they see you. And Will and I are like, they're not.
Sometimes we like do birthday parties. Like the parents will ask, like, hey, can you come to my daughter's birthday? She's turning 10 or, you know, whatever. And like we love it. So we'll show up, and like sometimes it's great. Yeah. Sometimes they're just also nervous, and it's just awkward.
We're like, guys, like it's all right.
And you're like, happy birthday.
It's like, and they're just like,
sometimes they just freeze, right? Because they don't know how to probably process that person is right there.
When we were in Winnipeg, we were just chilling. Like we had like pretty much a day off in Winnipeg, and I saw like a merch order come in, and it was for someone in Winnipeg, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. Let's go and drop it off.
Let's just drop it off.
So we went and we like knocked on the door, and we were like, hey guys, like, do you want a shirt? And the kid that was there was like super excited about it, and we were like, oh, like so glad she wasn't nervous.
She like ran out in her pajamas and like gave us hugs on the grass.
Yeah,
you know,
like, this is great.
It was great.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
So I guess you don't hand deliver all of the orders.
No, but
it'd be fun though.
That would be like another full-time job.
Yeah, like
right
wait
there.
a minute, this is like around the corner.
Like
Let's
if it
go.
works out.
Sometimes I see one, I'm like, you know what? Let's go, Will. Let's do it.
Sometimes like when there's no one in Thunder Bay, like one time we had an order in Thunder Bay, or it was like in Nipigon or something like that, and we were like in LA, and we're like, oh no, how do we do this? You know what I mean? It's like
we had all the merch.
Can you wait a month and a half?
Yeah.
All the merch was like in our house, so we were like, oh man,
like we need a better system.
Get home and get this done, and then
gotta like send a friend.
We ended up texting. We're like, hey, it's
we gave
Will
him
and
extra
Charlie
stuff.
here.
We were super sorry.
We're gonna give you your merch, but it's gonna be a little later because we're
not here.
Locked our merch in our house.
Yeah, and like we're in LA right now.
Yeah.
Having In-N-Out burgers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Have you guys
Shake
had
Shacks?
In-N-Out
Yes,
burger?
I have.
I have. Yeah, it's
What do you
too
think?
long.
Do you like it?
I like them.
I like the atmosphere more than the burger.
That's such a fair point.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
service.
What about the fries? What about the fries?
I haven't had it in a while. I can't.
They're okay. The burger's better.
What about the shake?
I didn't have a shake.
Shake's good.
The chocolate shake tastes like vanilla.
The chocolate shake tastes like vanilla.
It's weird.
What
it's
does the
weird.
vanilla
like
shake
you'll
taste
be
like?
having it, and you're like, oh, it's a good chocolate shake, and you're like, wait a minute.
second.
You're gonna be
This
having
is
it. You're like,
vanilla.
oh,
So
this
it's
is
just
good
the color.
chocolate shape, and then you're gonna be like, wait a
what's
minute.
up with
They just put
that?
the brown in there.
It's just like so much sugar that you just. I feel like it's probably just more sugar that it just tastes like vanilla now. It passes the realm.
It passes the realm of flavor.
I hated it the first time. I hated it the first time. Liked it the second. No, I hated it the first time.
Yeah.
I could bear it the second time. Liked it the third time. Now I'm addicted.
Okay.
Like I love it.
It's been
I
like
haven't
a
had
while
it that
for
many
me.
times. I haven't had it that many times, but
I've been to California numerous times, but it's been like a while.
Well, In-N-Out never fails to have like the longest drive-through lineup. Like no matter what time, like 2 in the morning.
I don't think I've ever been in.
Oh.
You've never been in?
I like when the guy comes to your window and it's fun.
Or you can eat outside. I feel like I eat outside.
I've always go in. I like the colors.
Yeah, there's usually like some high school kids eating outside and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I did. I ate outside.
Yeah.
I'm from.
Was this in
when
Palm
you're from
Springs?
Thunder Bay? You're like you go and I'm like, why does anybody want to be inside ever?
Yeah.
It's so nice
Honestly,
here, right? I'm always outside.
I don't complain about the warm anywhere.
Nope.
Like that's my thing. Like if it's like we were in Europe this summer and it was 40 degrees at midnight. Like
I actually
it's
like it when
pitch
it's like
black
that. When it's like
outside
hot
and
at
it's
night.
so
I'm
You
like,
just
warm.
can't sleep.
And everyone's like,
just love
oh
it.
my God.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not complaining.
I
I'm
know.
not complaining. I am going to love every second of this. Because then there's a day like today and you're like,
it's snowing.
Yeah, it's snowing.
It's a snow situation.
So we're curious. I'm gonna butt right in.
Yeah, you butt in.
So we're curious about your upbringing because you guys were talking a little bit about how your music has been changing and how did you guys get into music? Did you have any music teachers or anybody that influenced you?
Absolutely.
I think our upbringing started sort of our musical upbringing. So we have 2 older siblings. We have our sister who's
28,
and our brother who is
26,
something like that.
I may have screwed that
up. And our parents were obviously got everybody into piano lessons. We have a piano at our house.
Okay.
You know, that was cool. And
we
were going to piano lessons, but we were going as like
babies,
fresh like newborns, right? Because our mom was like, I'm taking Emma and Mac to piano lessons, and obviously the boys are coming.
Okay.
So we're there, you know, drawing and doing our thing.
Getting the music by osmosis.
Yeah, and we were super young, but then sort of, I guess the story goes that we wanted to sort of be included. So we started doing like a 5-minute lesson at the end of our older siblings' lesson.
And our teacher, Mrs. Walter, she would like play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star with our fingers. Like we were babies. Like I don't even remember.
Like
no, we don't.
2?
Like I like
One?
less.
It was
less.
2. It was right around like 2 or 3. Like we were,
Okay.
And just like,
I
I
would
will
say
help you
less.
play it.
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
hold your hand. That's
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been so fun.
And then by the time we were like 5, like we knew all the songs because we
Right.
had
It was
been
just by
listening
ear.
to them.
You hear it so many times, and then I think we developed like good ears that way.
Yeah.
Charlie, I think even has a better ear than mine because I think he would have had more. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. You're the younger brother.
Yeah.
I'm the younger brother.
Can you play by ear?
Yeah,
that's how we do it.
We can't play not by ear.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I think
That's
I'm the
all
only
we
one.
got.
Like I went to school for music, so like I know how to read sheet
Okay.
music, but like I choose not to. It's like
I'm the opposite. I was sheet music, and then as a kid, because you know they have the numbers on the sheet music, like for your
fingers.
Yes.
Yep.
So I was like,
Right.
cool. I can learn how to play until the numbers no longer correspond to the key. So I had to relearn how to do it. Anyway, so
I don't
no,
even
I
know
am
what you're
always
talking
envious.
about. That's
Like,
how
were you talking
far
about, like-
removed
Well, yeah,
I am
because
from
it's like
sheet
1,
music.
2, 3. Like they would give you.
They would say your
They would
fingers
say
were.
your fingers, like finger 1 should be on middle C, and then your third finger will be on E,
Okay.
right? So I didn't know what the notes were, but I just
Yeah.
knew until.
I had little dreams of like coloring my piano, like the different colors, you know, and like
Oh,
so that I
yeah.
would know. And then my dad was like, "No."
So I was always very envious of people
like,
who
"Figure it out."
could play by
The real
ear
way.
because
Okay.
I need the music. Like
and
I
you know
can't,
what?
and
We're
it's-
the exact opposite. Like we're envious of people who can like
really.
sight read.
So as we
Like,
got,
that's insane to me. I don't understand.
No.
As
We
we
just
got,
look at it and they go, oh, yeah.
They're just
I
like,
know
oh
how
yeah,
it goes.
I got this, and it's like, oh my gosh, like I need to hear it first. You know what I mean?
as
Isn't
we
that
got
fun?
older,
It's fun what you
Yeah.
appreciate
Just
when it's
different
different
brains,
from you.
right? Yeah.
as we got older, our piano teacher, Mrs. Walter, who
Yeah.
doesn't teach piano anymore, but she's still a goat. She's still awesome.
You know, it sounds, yeah, maybe she should get back in.
Yeah.
She was
Well,
so
she is
patient.
pretty
She was
awesome.
like,
Yeah.
talk about.
She used to give you a
patience.
Hershey's kiss at the end of
Aw.
every lesson. It was
Yeah.
such a
Yeah,
good
there was like
place
a
to be.
bowl. Yeah.
But so as we got older, we were trying to learn how to read music
Okay.
because Mrs. Walter was like, "Boys, like if you're gonna do this, like you gotta
Yeah.
kind of know." And but the
Still
problem,
give you the Hershey
the
kiss at the
problem was, she's like, "You're gonna get the Hershey kiss,
Gotta
but you're
work for
gonna
the
have
kiss.
to read a
you
little
gotta
bit."
work for
You gotta
it.
work
So
for
we
it.
had like a book, right, and it would have different songs in it. But the problem was that like if I heard the song too many times, I would know it, and then I wouldn't be reading anymore. I would just be kind of guessing how I remember it went. And so we had this like huge book, and we went through like 1,000 of them because I would only play like one song one time, and then she'd be like, "Okay, next one."
Wow.
And so that I wouldn't know like what the next one was. It was terrible. I hated it. Like I couldn't do it. I was like, Mom, like I can't do this sheet music thing. But that was when we were like learning how to do songs for our school. Remember the musicals at school?
Oh yeah.
And I had to learn how to play like Tutti Frutti, and I had no idea.
Oh yeah. I sang like "Living on a Prayer."
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was fun. What did you do? You did
well, the one year
your song. What's
the first year you
Elton
did
John?
it, and I was
Oh, Elton John.
yeah, your song? This is your song.
Your song, I think.
Yeah, yours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, I was too young to do it the first year, but they let me play the piano on the side. So I just like showed up, and there
Charlie
was
would
like
play,
there was
the
like
piano
a
for his class.
there was like a grade 8
you
who
were
the-
looked like an old man,
the
like
house band.
a
Yeah.
grade 8 who was super awesome at playing, and then I got to hop in for what ended up being just Tutti Frutti. I did just that one, and then the rest of the time I waited and
Oh, that
flipped
was
the
a good
pages
one.
for the guy. Yeah,
yeah.
but it was good.
So it's been like since you were very small,
Yeah.
and then it just sort of
yeah.
Okay,
continued
so
on at
piano
that
has
point.
then evolved into, or is like,
Piano turned into, so we had the piano at our house, which turned into us playing songs that we liked.
Our
like-
dad was
which usually involves singing.
our dad would play piano lots. He would also play guitar lots, like
Okay.
for us.
Yeah, he
Sing-alongs
our-
were like
yeah.
huge in our family. Whenever we had friends over, like it was just we'd go to the living room where the piano is, and like it would just happen, and we'd get to stay up late, so we loved it. And
Yeah, you're
you
like,
know
well,
what I mean?
keep playing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, whatever.
Stay up late.
Or
Slowly
there was other
start
nights
learning
where we like
songs.
fell asleep to like
the sounds of.
Sound
like
of the piano.
downstairs, right? And we're just hearing it, and it's like
Yeah.
everyone's singing, and
then we got put into singing lessons at Applause Productions, which
Okay.
is still
Okay,
going.
yes.
Yep.
Denise,
yeah.
she literally like I remember showing up and being like, I've never used a microphone before. Can I just like go and like do it? And I literally went up and tapped it, and that
she-
was when we were. I think that was 2011.
then she
Okay.
came up with the idea
So I
of
was
putting both of us together. Like before this, we
7,
were only like it
7.
was like Charlie
Oh,
would sing, and then
okay.
it'd be my turn, and then Charlie, and then she's like, "Why don't you guys, do a duet?" And we're like, "What the heck? Like, what is that?" And it's
So
like,
then we were doing duets as
and
Will
then
and
teaching
Charlie
us
Lockyer.
harmonies.
Okay, you never did duets on the piano? My sister and I took
No.
lessons. We always had to do duets. So
It was
Not-
sort
not
of a
until
karaoke environment.
okay,
Yeah.
That's
Right,
kind of
that
how
makes
you
sense.
do
And
it.
you'd
It's
sing
like-
okay,
along.
that makes sense.
Yeah, and then she was teaching us harmonies. I remember.
Yeah.
Fun.
And then we like went to like the Lakehead Music Festival
Right, of
for it,
course.
and like I
Yes.
think we got a medal like the first time we did it.
That was
And we were
lit.
like-
that was so lit.
I mean,
yeah.
we would have been so young, so I think like now.
Well, I mean, you get a medal.
They
you're
give
like,
medals
"I
to all
got a
the
med-"
little kids,
Right.
right? But to
But
us, it
then
was like,
that was
oh
a
my
big
gosh,
deal.
we're
Like,
We
oh.
just started singing, and now
We
we have
are
a medal.
insane.
Like,
right?
like-
Like we're kind of
Sky's
good
the
at this.
limit.
We're kind
Yeah.
of good at this. So Denise, in a way, was sort of
Oh, she was
instrumental
huge.
in
Huge.
and she's
Yeah,
so good
literally.
at that. She's great.
get it.
We
get it.
we saw her not too long ago. We were in
Yeah.
there. We stopped by every time because
Nice.
Ryan McDonald from Honest Heart Collective has his studio in there, and
Oh, yes, that
in
is
that
right.
building.
Yes,
so
that's right.
yeah, it's a cool place to be.
Cool.
Oh, how fun.
It's so cool.
We find
like,
excuses to
You're
stop
only
in.
we're only 7
But we were
You
playing.
started
We were
young.
we were performing as Will and Charlie Lockyer.
before
And-
that.
Yeah, and that's who we were. We were Will and Charlie Lockyer
Yep.
playing
Right.
songs, and people were like, "Yeah, those are like the Lockyer Boys are gonna come up and play their music."
And then is that where the name
Yeah.
switched? You're like,
It's
"Oh,
like
wait a
it
minute."
never really was a name. Like it was just like
we didn't choose it.
It's like
Yeah.
that's what people
They
just
called you
called
boys
us.
and not brothers.
We were always the boys because we have a third
we were so
brother.
young.
Right.
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 Like we would play like
That
I
makes
think the
total
very
sense.
first
Even in our family, like,
time
we're
we
the
played
boys.
Right.
like
Mhm.
like at a bar was like we were young at Loch Lomond, like the ski chalet. And it
Yes.
was like night skiing, and we were all skiing and like still in our ski boots, and someone said like, "Bring out the Lockyer Boys," and we did. And like, what song did we sing? Like, "Don't Stop Believin'," and
Classic
a
choice.
little bit of Journey.
and
Yeah.
then we did "Drops of Jupiter," I think.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of like in the break between a band that was
Yeah.
playing. Like they were having their beers, and then they just like let us use their piano. And
Oh, it
we're
was
still
Clay
in our.
Brayland.
Oh yeah.
Ah,
okay.
yes,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So he let us use his piano and stuff,
Yeah.
and
Oh, how fun.
we
That's a
we
great.
sang it and nervous like crazy,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Just shaking.
You had your
Yeah.
little ski boots on. You're
Absolutely.
like,
Yeah. And then we did like next thing you know, like for the next year or two, we're actually doing our own shows at Loch Lomond. Like
Oh,
that was
yeah.
like our place at first. And
Started doing that with our dad.
with
would
our
play
dad,
guitar
he was
with
helping us. and he was like, he was definitely disciplined, like getting the discipline in us on like practicing and stuff, like making sure we prepare for this.
Like if you have a gig, you got to practice.
Yeah, so we learned
ready.
We took those seriously.
You don't
just come off the ski hill in your ski boots.
And it was pretty crazy too, because we were obviously young and like people didn't really like. I don't think people knew how hard we were trying when we were trying. So sometimes we would play like shows places and we'd be like, guys, like this is like the end all be all for us, But we just looked like kids on stage playing.
Yeah, but you have to
but that's how you want it to look.
Maybe they were like, these guys are.
But that's how you want it to look. When it looks effortless.
Yeah.
You don't want to see at least I don't. I think that's the key to when people are, is that you don't see the effort, you get to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then,
I remember like practicing till like 1 a.m. and stuff like that. But like we wanted to. Like it wasn't even,
it wasn't like a punishment.
It wasn't torture.
Yeah.
I mean, you get tired, but like it was like, I think those were huge for us. Just being able to be comfortable and like playing songs and stuff, and it's like no longer like something we have to think about as much, right?
Yeah, it's kind of great that you fell into it.
But there was a time where we had to.
Still to this day, like we practice pretty hard. Like when we have a show,
I think we still have it. We learned it from that, and like
when we have a show coming up, it's like. It's insane.
That's how you prepare so that
and we have a band with us too, so we're trying to kind of like relay to them. We're like, guys, like we're gonna rehearse hard. Like, when we play this show, you're gonna know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
Exactly when you're doing it. It's gonna be easy.
Do you have a band like here or in Toronto?
A little bit of everything. We have shout out to the band. We've got Tanner Van Tiefelen.
Okay.
One of our drummers.
He was the first drummer that we played with. And he's been great, and he's obviously like he played with us at the auditorium.
Yep.
He learns a song in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
He doesn't even need to hear the end of it. He just knows how it goes. Like it's insane.
And then
it's insane. We love it.
We've done some shows with Jordan Gray, who's in Star Drop's band.
Okay. Yep.
And Small Town Bad. You know that band? They're playing around here. They're pretty awesome.
Also really good.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's great. He's a beauty.
Yeah.
And then we have Noah Siren, who plays guitar and sometimes keyboard, runs some tracks, little things like that.
DJing.
But he's a guitar player. He can shred. And so he's with us. And then we have Jaden Billick, who started off as crew for us. He was like a guy that would come to schools.
Yeah.
And but he knows how to play the drums. I actually played drums with him in high school. And I was like,
circle
dude,
moment.
like,
come
you
and
could
join
totally.
the band.
Yeah, so we
did.
did.
I would play guitar with Noah in high school too, so it's kind of just like.
Yeah.
And Tanner went to our high school as well.
Yeah, so we did that. So he plays with us sometimes. Like when we did a show at the Gardens, like the Fort William Gardens, and he was playing with us. And then we have a show coming up in Toronto where we needed a drummer in Toronto. So we have a guy named Bradley Connors, who is. You guys know the Rec Laws? Like the country band, the Rec Laws?
I can't say that.
That's when we saw the Rec Laws play at Country on the Bay. And then we saw them play they were using a bunch of our gear. So they came here and they needed gear, and we were like, okay, you can use ours.
They were like doing a private show at the Air Bravo hangar at the airport.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we got to help out with that. We were like so pumped. Like I think at first we were just like lending like a microphone or two. But then we showed up and we're like, can we just stay and like help? Like we'll volunteer.
This is cool.
We just want to see them. We want to meet them. We want to help. We just want to be a part of it. And so we did. We started setting up the stage with Trevor, who is the manager at the auditorium.
Yes, Trevor heard it.
Yeah, exactly. So we were just, and he went to high school with our parents and stuff. So we were all just catching up and whatnot. And then we met the Rec Laws and we met Bradley.
Bradley was playing drums that day.
And then you said,
so how do you go from that to being like, call him up?
Pretty much.
Really?
That's it.
That was it?
We're like, hey, Brad, like, obviously, like, we followed
him. It's the boys.
Like,
the bros.
The bros.
We're chatting with people. We send him the odd text when he's, like, on TV playing with, like, Jade Eagleson. He also plays with Jade Eagleson.
Okay.
And
we see you.
And the Rec Laws were like, hey, you're on our TV.
Yeah.
And then we got this show, and we're like, hey, if you're around, like.
And he's like, I am.
We'll send you the set, and we'll play. So we'll see how it goes.
We're going to, like, rehearse the day before the show, and then just. See,
we've already been.
Charlie and I are rehearsing on our own.
Where are you guys playing?
But Drake Underground.
Oh yeah, sorry, Drake Underground.
Yeah. This will be like our first headlining show in Toronto, right?
Yeah. Well, we did the school show,
but this is like the first headline.
We did
show.
Canadian Music Week, and this is gonna be the one.
This is gonna be our first.
And I love Drake, so it works out. It all comes full circle.
It's got the same
Awesome.
name.
Okay, are you looking for the ultimate guide to live entertainment in Thunder Bay?
Whether it's concerts and festivals, stand-up comedy, theater, or drag shows, tvshows.com has it all.
They got it all. TVShows.com is your one-stop hub for everything happening in Thunder Bay. Vibrant music and event scene. Stay in the know, up-to-date event listings, ticket info, local highlights.
It's easy to use, totally free,
I like free.
and keeps you connected to the hottest events in the city. That's hot.
But actually, don't miss out. Visit tvshows.com today because in Thunder Bay, the show always goes on. Well, speaking of your music, how would you describe your genre? Like some people have said it's pop, alternative rock, country. Is that correct? Is there more?
Do you like to define? Like,
Do you like
know
to just say we
an
play
industry
music
does that,
we
right?
like,
Like, always try to
Yeah.
say, "What are you?"
They
when you're
definitely
coming
want,
and booking,
I feel
right?
like the industry wants to like put you in a basket. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they would like. I feel like pop sometimes is a little tricky because it's kind of just it could be anything, and it's like
And
I
it
feel
could
like
be
there's more
influenced by so
services
much.
for like if you're like in country or like I'm in metal. You know what I mean?
Right.
They'll be like,
Well, those
oh,
ones are very like,
yeah,
if you play that kind. But if
yeah.
it sounds like you've been influenced by like so many different people
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and music and
I would say I mean, if you like go on to Spotify right now, search up Lockyer Boys, you're gonna get pop. It's
Right.
nothing but pop.
it's very
I
catchy.
don't really care that
I
much.
listen
It's
to
catchy
it.
pop.
Like,
I
call it
listen
pop.
to it. It's great.
Call
Yeah.
it pop. It's
Call it
pop.
I mean, it's more for a marketing, probably booking, right? So that people kind of know what they're getting.
Yeah.
It's
I guess,
pop,
but
baby.
Pop
Pop.
is like,
But
It's
pop
like-
there's so much to that, like style wise, right?
yeah,
Like,
pop. I feel. I just hit the microphone. Sorry.
It's a huge no-no.
No.
Pop like don't talk with your hands. I was trying to keep them down, but pop encompasses a lot. So I think if
Yeah.
you say pop, at least people know. Like, okay,
Well,
it's going
and
to be.
like if I'm having a conversation with someone and they're like wondering, I'm just like, yeah, it's pop. Like
Because that's not
Justin
what you
Bieber,
think. That's not what you think
One
when you're
Direction.
making music,
I think
right?
if
it's exactly
if you
what
listen
think.
to like every song we do, every song we put out is like in our heads, it's like, oh, this is better than the last one. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, you're probably influenced by like the things that you're doing or things
Exactly.
you're listening to personally. For
And
you.
we don't exactly listen to pop music on our own. Like we do, for sure.
What are you guys
100%.
listening to? What do you guys like to listen to?
Charlie like will listen to Drake. Like he'll
Yeah.
full on just like binge Drake. He's got like every
You're
single.
like, I said I was a fan.
when we're
I do
going
have
on
a
drives.
I do have a playlist called Drake.
Like
Okay.
when we were driving to LA, like that's all we listened to was just Drake.
That
and
sounds like a good.
that guy's got 300 songs, so
Yeah.
it's like you can
The whole drive.
actually
He
listen
only needs to
the
hear
whole...
them once, though, and then he can play them.
Yeah.
So then maybe your
exactly.
next song after that was very like Drake inspired.
I've made some pretty
maybe?
Drakey songs.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I like listening to like folk music too. Like that's like even like the Lumineers and like alternative
Oh,
as
yeah.
well.
We had a
Um,
song on loop on the drive here today that was just a piano song.
Oh,
Indie
Like,
music.
it was
Like I
like-
guess
Yeah.
we're kind of indie as well. Like we're technically
that.
indie.
Yeah, technically indie,
technically.
for sure.
Yeah.
But like we also like listening to like indie stuff and just
Indie pop.
Yeah,
Indie pop.
indie rock. Like just
Because I don't think you think of
Whatever.
that necessarily when you're creating. I mean, maybe some artists do at some point. We're like, okay, this is who we are, and we have to write within these
yeah.
parameters. But I think you're just making music that you like.
But I
Yeah.
think when people put themselves like in a box, then like there's no way to like really go out of that. So if you're kind of like we're a little bit of this, we're a little of that, then you know you're kind of expanding your.
Or people do this is our country album, and then this
Oh,
is
yeah.
our.
Yeah.
Oh, I would do
Right?
that in a heartbeat.
Would
Charlie
you?
would do a
Oh
country
my
album.
God.
He
Yeah?
listens to country.
Oh, I
Okay.
would.
Yeah.
I would totally pull a Post Malone and just go country. Like
Yeah, I
one
think
day.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
we're always
yeah.
like every song we write. It's like we're trying to figure out like where do we want to go and like what is the trend right now? Like okay, we just wrote 5 songs. What are they all like? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
but like intuitively
Like,
or
look
like
for the pattern-
instinctually,
look for
you
the
know what I mean?
patterns
Like,
and the-
yeah, don't try to be something. Like just what is happening?
Just like what
Yeah.
did we put out? Okay, we did the 5. This
Yeah.
is kind of the vibe.
Yeah,
like what's
maybe
here?
our next ones will be something else.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And
A
it
country
honestly,
maybe Drake.
as we're in the
Go
stage
solo
right
for a
now.
country album?
If we start talking about Drake too much,
Sorry.
I'm gonna start quoting
This guy's
Drake,
gonna-
Oh
yeah.
no!
and then it's gonna go south
Oh, no, okay.
real fast. I won't be able to stop, and it'll be bad.
But the hat. So you wear the hat.
Start hitting the clicker, like he's gonna
Yeah.
stop quoting Drake.
Oh yeah, right.
So you
Like,
wear this hat. It's kind of got a country vibe.
yeah,
to it. I don't.
yeah, it does. Oh, for
yeah.
sure.
So yeah.
tell us
You wanna
about the
talk about
hat.
the
Yeah.
hat?
Well, I mean, give us a little.
Yeah.
They want to know.
I want to know what
someone in the room is wearing a hat.
They're wearing a hat.
Who can't see.
If you're not watching the
Wearing
video,
a-
start watching the video.
But if you're a fan, you
No, I
probably
love
already
Dare I say
know.
it's a signature
Oh,
hat?
yes.
It is a
I love the
signature
hat.
look.
I love the hat. Love talking about the hat.
Okay.
So it's all cool. You guys seen the movie A Star Is Born
Yes.
with Jackson Maine,
Of
Bradley
course.
Cooper?
Yep.
Love it.
Great
Love
movie.
It. That movie shaped my life.
It's a great movie.
Like, I'm not even messing around. I know every single line of that movie. I watch it all the time. And the first time I saw it, like, I was like,
I know. The first time
like, the first time I saw it, I was like shook. Like, it was crazy. I've never even like seeing the crowds and like everything. I was just like crazy. And I was in like grade 9 when I saw it.
Okay.
Anyways, he had a hat like this. And
Yes, he did.
a little while later, I went to Wake the Giant, the first Wake the Giant, and Metric was playing.
Yes, I was there.
I was there.
I was there.
And
not.
we
Yeah.
and the
Working.
guitar player was wearing a hat like this as well.
The hat was around.
And I was like, that's the hat that Jackson Maine has. I was like, I want a hat like that. I want to be Jackson Maine. And so then I asked my mom and my sister for Christmas, who are kind of like our stylists. And I was like, guys, see
You
this
find me
picture
this
of
hat?
Jackson
Yeah.
Maine? Can you get me a hat like that? So they got me one. And the next Christmas, I got another one. And the next Christmas, I got another one. But I just started wearing it as like, I was like, okay, like whenever I want to feel like Jackson Maine, I'll put on the hat, which was whenever we were doing music.
Yes. That makes
And then we
total
would walk
sense.
into places and they'd be like, oh, I remember when you guys were here. We're like, what do you mean? Like, we don't even remember when we
It was
were
the
here.
hat.
And they're like, I remember your hat. So then we're like, okay, this is
Yeah.
going to be a tool we can use. So we started wearing the hat, or we didn't start wearing it. I started wearing the hat sort of a little bit more often.
Yeah.
And it sort of helped us sort of get a little bit of a look going, get a little bit of a.
Well, people remember it, right? Like,
Yeah,
well,
I think
mean,
they
he
do.
did.
I think they do. And it helps. Yeah, it helps. You want to be recognizable when you're in
And
this
also, you
biz.
love the movie so much, and it gives you probably the confidence.
It gives
to be
me
like,
special
Oh, yeah.
I
powers.
feel like I'm,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah, you didn't randomly choose the hat.
No.
Like it was a very.
hat
it was
chose
a
you.
it was a thing.
The hat
yeah.
chose you or
Yeah.
spoke to you or.
And,
And
you know what?
I don't have very many. Like I
No.
really do like
It's-
pick
they're all the
them
same
out.
kind of
Now
black
I have
one,
like
a
Okay.
green
5
one,
now.
a white one. You have like a straw one, like a cow, like a.
Oh.
But it's
Oh,
like
that's
a,
fun.
Like you're
I
out
got
on
a
farm.
straw one from Australia,
okay.
and I was like, "This is legit,"
Yes.
Yeah.
and it was too small for me.
No.
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, it's okay. I'll return it and get a bigger one." Well, you know how much it is to ship a hat back to Australia? I was like, I'm just gonna give this to my mom. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
There you go, Mom.
Well, what's cool to see too is like when we did like at Live on the Waterfront this summer, we saw like literally a kid in the crowd with Charlie's hat, and we were just like
No.
blown away by it. We thought it was
Yes.
the cutest thing,
Yeah.
and it's like
Oh.
that's awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And,
love
and
it.
then
And obviously, like in all the like, we get drawings and paintings.
Yeah.
And people
like,
always draw you
there's
with a
always
hat.
yeah,
that
of
hat.
course, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah.
It is part of your persona now, I
It
think.
is.
It's like, it's
Yeah,
a cool hat. I
yeah.
like the story behind it. It's
My
like
hairdresser
really cool.
started saying I gotta maybe lay off the hat a little bit. I'm getting a little
His
bit.
hair
of a
is getting a
spot up
little-
here.
Oh, just
But-
from
wearing the hat.
from
Yeah.
the wear.
Mm.
not-
I don't wear it like all the time now. I've
think-
sort of started dialing it back. I was like,
Okay.
people think I'm gonna be all right.
Yeah, they got
Especially
that.
like in like Thunder Bay. I'm like, okay, I can.
Okay, they're good. I
Right.
don't need to like.
Yeah.
Just let me run to my car.
They're
and-
gonna understand if I
Put that
don't
on.
have a hat on. And
You know
like,
what? But like that happens with lady. You wear your hair in a ponytail too much.
really?
Same thing.
Same
yeah.
thing, yeah.
Mhm.
If
What's
you
the
wear your,
ponytail gotta do
Well,
with
it pulls your
anything?
hair and like then it.
Oh,
Cause-
it'll give you like a bigger forehead or something.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
maybe.
I don't
Nobody-
know.
yeah.
I'll remember
Right?
that.
So don't wear a ponytail.
I went through a
too much.
phase where I was doing that all
Top
the time.
knot?
Yeah.
I like it. I like a top
Trying
knot.
to
I was
push my
just
son to
proud
do
that I
that.
could.
That you
I was
could? You were just
yeah.
like, I
I was
have
like, my
enough
hair's
hair.
long enough. I'm doing it.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why
love
not?
It was a terrible idea. It
So you
didn't
guys
work
spend
out.
a lot of time together, obviously because you're related to one another and because
Yes.
you play in a band.
Yes.
What's it like? Like, do you seem like you get along really well,
That's good.
right? But
Is
there
that
must be
true?
like
We're
what
good
is
actors.
what are some things that you like best about each other, and what things do you sort of maybe find a little more challenging slash
Oh.
maybe annoying?
You know what? Like we get that question a lot, but not
Okay.
the way you like phrase it. We like
Okay.
we usually get the do you guys get along?
Mm,
But this is now we gotta like pick it apart.
Yeah.
I mean, just for reference, like, or not no reference, but backstory here. So our older brother and older sister we were talking about, they both moved away the same year.
Okay.
So, I don't know how old
Emma
I was in like
was going to college to like uni, and then Mac was going to a high school in BC to play hockey.
okay.
But so I was in like grade 5 or grade 6 or grade 4, something around there. And then it was just Will and I, like, living at the house, you know? And we were doing music. So we pretty much from that day, we spent like every day together. Like
if you practice as much as you say you practice.
Well, and it's not just practicing. Like that's
writing the
writing
like at home, and
you gotta live with each other.
Yeah,
writing emails.
We used to share the same room. We used to have like 2 beds on opposite sides of the room. Like that
People
was like
probably
our childhood.
think you're twins or ask if you're twins
all the time. Yeah. No, so we do spend like a lot of time together, and obviously when we're traveling, it's like 24/7.
Yeah.
Right. Just like childhood.
So we don't really need to say much most of the time.
You just know.
When we go on road trips, we don't talk.
Yeah.
You just listen to Drake.
We listen to Drake, or we're just thinking.
That's just your time to just
thinking, or like one of us is like, because we'll take turns and whatnot. It's like one of us is working on something, and yeah. But we don't need to chit chat as much.
But what was the question?
So it was. What do you? So it does seem like you get along. What are some qualities? Like, what's something you really appreciate about each other, and what is something that maybe is over time where you just be like, okay, that is just the one thing where I'm just like, I got to give you a look to say,
no, let's.
I think we know each other's strengths. Like Will's a very sort of, he's dialed in. Like he can work on something hard for a long time and do it.
The focus.
He's very focused. He can go a long. He's super like he can go a long time without talking to anybody. Like we have a joke in our house that's like, is Will like here? You know, and I'm like, yeah, guys, he's upstairs working. Like,
yeah, I admire that.
So he's like, he's dialed in. So oftentimes I'll be like, just sort of like every day, sort of, I'll just be like, hey, Will, like, you should do this today, and he'll be like, maybe if I'm feeling it, and then he'll like do something, and he'll get it all done. Like he'll make the whole track for our entire set. So like we have a show coming up, he can make the whole thing and all the interludes and everything like that. And then I'm sort of more the guy that's like, I can't do that. Like, I have to keep moving. So I'm out, I'm in, I'm gone.
This Drake song made me think of this, and now I have to go get a sandwich.
I'm like, I sit down, I do my thing, and then I get up and I do something else, and I get up and I do something else, and I get up and do something else.
Charlie's definitely like the...
And I annoy Will because I talk way too much.
Like, we have a group chat, you know, for our family and whatnot, and like our parents will ask us, like, can one of you do this? Can one of you do this? And it's always Charlie, because like I'm always just on the computer. Like
I'm busy.
Charlie's doing it. And I'm sure they probably wonder, like, what is Will doing? Like, is he sleeping? Like, what's going on? Because they probably don't see it. But I can see. Yeah.
Well,
but our typical day is like, so this like the studio / like office is in my room. So Will comes in, sits down, and he starts doing his thing. I'm up, and I'll start doing my thing, sort of other places, right? Whether it's like on my computer, like talking to people, whatever, and then I'll come into my room, lie down on my bed, and I'll say, all right, well, play it for me from the start. And he plays it for me from the start when he feels like it. Like most of the time, he's like,
ready.
Most of the time, he's like, Charlie,
no,
I'm not ready. Go.
Yeah, like I can't just do that right now.
He's like,
I'm still working on it.
Yeah, shut up.
Not right now.
See you
tonight.
And then I'll start giving him ideas. Like, oh man, like you know what you should do this. Like that'll work. And he's like, Charlie, shut up. He doesn't even turn around.
Yet.
He doesn't even turn around. It's just the back of his head.
Sometimes he'll like, look at me. I'm like, no.
Like I'm in the zone.
I can't.
And then I'm like, all right, screw this. I'm leaving. And then I leave.
Yeah.
Oh
And then he keeps working. So yeah, I think we just know each other's strengths, and
it sounds like it's
and
a
it
good
sounds like
dynamic.
you work off of each other that way. Then
yeah. But that sort of talk to no talk ratio is like, it's intense.
It can get a little wild sometimes though.
I bring up like he says we don't talk much on the drives, and I'm just sitting there going like, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm gonna keep it quiet in here. Keep the peace in this.
So you're like ready to
Nothing to bring up.
And then all of a sudden, I have something to say. I'm very angry.
Yeah.
But sometimes like our mom has to be like the media, like okay, boys, you love each other.
Yeah, just as
Figure it out.
Like it happens, right?
Oh, totally.
Yeah,
Like I think that happens. That would happen with anybody that was spending that much time together and trying to work together and who have different processes for.
I think the thing is too, like we want everything to be super awesome and great. So oftentimes, like our grandpa said this the other day, and I think it's awesome. He said the first idea doesn't have to be the last idea.
Yep.
And that's, I think, how we sort of work. So like I'm oftentimes like, Will say, hey, Charlie, we should do this. And I'm like, no, we shouldn't. Tell me why we should. like literally like prove to me that we should right now. Like, can you defend that idea? Most of the time it's because I don't believe it at the start. And I'm like,
I need to be
convinced.
Yeah.
But we do a lot of that. Like, it's a lot of hard thinking
debates.
about, because we have like,
That is good,
like
though,
there's
because sometimes
decisions
you
that need to be made.
wanna
And
hold
it's
on
like,
to that
can you
idea
stand
and you need to
behind
let
this
it go.
decision?
Yeah.
Instead of like, you
Yeah.
know, oh, I really don't want to argue about this today. You have it your way, Will.
Right.
You know, it's like, no, like, let's just get to the bottom of it. And I think that like we're the only two people that understand that like when we're getting to the bottom of it, we're just getting to the bottom of it. We're not.
Yeah, like that's all it is. It's
like
not.
you're not
Yeah.
like I'm angry at you now. Later,
It's just-
you're
yeah.
like we
Yeah.
gotta
Also,
work
just
through
like,
it.
I
whatever.
think too, like once we're like okay, in our house, in that room, the
Mhm.
home studio, like
Yeah.
yes, we are. It's sometimes like me versus Charlie. You know what I mean? It's like we're debating, we're coming up with ideas, we're throwing things at each other, and it can be heated, it can be pretty positive. Like it's all over the place. Whatever the day is. But when we go into a studio, it's usually we have like some kind of, you know, subconscious mind thing going on that it's like, no, we're actually on the same team for this because we don't have much time. We got to work on
You
this.
gotta just
It's like we
like,
trust each
accept.
other. It's like even if we were disagreeing in the car on the way there, you know what I mean? It's
You
like,
just go in
okay,
and you know how to get it done.
Well, maybe we're like I'll go in and like maybe I'm wrong, and then I trust that Charlie's like maybe I'm wrong. We'll see what they say. You know what I mean? Like we'll see what.
Yeah.
right, and
So-and-so
that's a
says.
creative process in itself. That you're just the ideas are always sort of changing, or you're not sure, and
And it's good to be
You just
open.
gotta-
It's good to be open to that as opposed to
Yeah.
sometimes just saying, no, it has to be this way. Like if you always want to let the best idea
Yeah,
sort of
exactly.
show itself,
Yeah,
that's how you
whoever-
have to
yeah,
kind
it
of
does-
suss
yeah,
it
doesn't
out,
have
you
to
know?
come from you, right? Yeah.
yeah. So, is there a dream gig that you have that on the horizon of like one day, or
Yeah.
an artist that you'd love to play open for or work
Yep.
with?
Yep. And you know what? It always it changes because I feel like we started off with like when we were 11 or so, we wanted to play it live on the waterfront on that stage at
And
the
then you
marina.
did.
That was
Yeah.
like our thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like I remember when we first got like we applied for it and we got the go ahead to do it. We were so pumped, but it was like during COVID, so we had to do it in our
Right.
patio. It was like live streamed, and we were like, "This is not."
Not
Not
what we
the
were
same.
thinking.
Sucks. You know what I mean? Like we want the
Yeah.
stage.
Yeah.
And
With
then
the
like the
fans
next
and the
year,
kids. And
Yeah.
the COVID like relaxed a little, so but we got to do it on like the rooftop of a parkade,
Yes,
and it
that's right.
poured rain, like it was raining like crazy.
Ended
so
up getting
like
canceled.
20 people were there,
Did.
and no, it didn't
Oh,
get
no,
canceled.
Well, it got
It
rescheduled.
got canceled, rescheduled,
Yeah.
and then it rained again.
I remember that.
It was
was
weather that made it, you know, not the best
Yeah.
time. But then we finally got to do it, and that was 2 years ago. And then we got to do it again,
And then we got to do it again.
yeah, and it's just great. So that was a dream, and then I would say the auditorium was another dream
Yeah.
that we checked off.
Yeah.
That felt really good.
So, what's the next dream?
Yeah, the next dream.
I would really, really love to do like an arena show.
Yeah.
We were just in so we did a show at the North Stars home opener.
yes,
the
you
Gardens.
did. Yes.
And it
Okay.
was
So that's
and it
like
was
an
That's an
it was
arena
like
show,
it was like a
though.
halftime
Yeah.
show almost. So
I
we
think
were
that
it was at the
counts.
start
And it was the arena.
and they wheeled
Yep,
the
it
stage
counts.
out,
Okay.
and then everything was
It
was
was so
wheeled
cool.
out
They
in like
wheeled the
2
stage
minutes.
out?
It was like
We were like trying to
You
figure
were,
out
like,
how
on
we
a
could
platform?
fit everything on this
we were on
8x8
Right,
platform
because
because it
you
had
don't
to
wanna be
fit
on
through
the
the
ice.
doors.
No, so they rolled us out,
Yes.
and then we played for like 8 minutes and 45 seconds, and then they rolled
Did
us
they?
back.
Were you on the stage when they rolled you out?
No,
No, we were
our
hiding.
drummer was though.
Our
Oh,
drummer
that's
was.
cool.
Our drummer was on.
We
it,
were hiding,
yeah.
and then we ran out. Like he started
Oh,
playing.
right.
Right.
But somebody on stage, because that would have been cool.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
then-
He was there.
That's
So
fun.
we were just
But
just
you were
in
down
Duluth.
at the bottom, and you're like, this would be
Yo,
pretty
yeah.
cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
we
you did it, but like,
no, exactly. I know
like
what you're
not
saying.
at a hockey
Yeah.
game.
Exactly.
Be like-
Yeah, we
So
wanted
we
to
were
like
we were
come
in
see
Duluth.
us.
We were in Duluth, and we were watching Loverboy,
Oh yes.
So good.
Mhm.
and we literally got like the backstage passes, everything, because we did a show with Mike Reno, who's like the lead singer of
Okay.
Loverboy. So he was in Duluth, and so we got the invite to come like backstage and
Fun.
hang out.
free tickets
Oh,
for the
that's
whole
fun.
fam. So we were like, this is awesome. But watching that, I was like, I want to like get a stage like that and
Yeah.
Yeah.
do the
I-
arena.
And I
Yeah.
think like a tour like that, like arenas or festival tour. Like I think we do the school tour, which
Yeah.
is great.
Right.
Being on tour is actually fun. Like I love it. I feel like a lot of maybe when you're doing like 300 shows in 250 days. Like maybe that's a little stressful, but we're not there yet. But right now at our pace, when we do a tour, it's like super fun for us, and I kind of just want more. I want it bigger. I want these festivals. That's what we're working towards. Like in summer,
I would love a tour bus.
Oh my goodness,
I've never been on a tour bus.
Tour jet.
I mean, that's
later
right?
on.
That's later on.
Yeah,
it's
like
the
bus first.
The crew goes in the bus, and then you guys.
Oh yeah.
But you like the bus could be fun. Yeah,
it would be.
Yeah. No, so I would say it's like more stages, like live on the waterfront and stuff, and that becomes the norm.
Right.
That would.
And then obviously your audience grows as you're playing bigger events, and then when you go there again.
Exactly.
Maybe the arena next time.
And then doing that kind of tour, you're able to prepare for that and kind of repeat that same as you go, right?
We like
it's so much work.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, right?
Everything's better in Europe, right? So it's like do the tour in Europe.
Yeah.
That's
croissants forever.
Yeah.
But I think that
I
think that we could get ourselves in like Fort William Gardens or something like that and do a show like that. That'd be crazy.
That would be fun.
It would be.
That's like the next like
putting that out there.
It's the next Thunder Bay goal, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, especially when you start as like a kid, you like the idea of just being like, imagine we played the Gardens, you know, like it would be such a big like.
That's what it was like for the auditorium.
Yes,
it's like, what if we played here? Like we would do like musicals at the auditorium. We did Les Mis.
Yep.
And Shrek.
So you were theater kids too?
Yeah, we were theater kids, and like we would see all the posters backstage.
I know, and you go backstage, and you're like,
in the
this
green
is
rooms.
the dressing room. With
I just did that all. Like my son was
fun.
just in Moana, so
there you go.
It was the same little vibe. It's so cute.
Yeah, exactly. And you just see all that stuff, and I remember like for
it's a big
Les
deal,
Mis, I think we got our own dressing room, and it said the Lockyer Boys on it. But I think that was like Marcia, like our director. She was just trying to be so cute and stuff. Like
I know.
Put a fire in us. We were loving it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
this happened this weekend. Our son had his little name on one of the rooms.
There you go.
And
it feels good.
And it was with Marcia too, which is so cute.
It feels good. It feels good when you see that. And I think like when we did the show.
And did you have your own dressing room with your name on it this time?
Absolutely.
Did they put our name
obviously.
On it? Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we had a big one. We had like mirrors everywhere.
You had the Cadillac room.
No, I know those
in the
are nice.
basement or the one with the side.
We were in the basement.
The basement.
You got the basement one.
We got that basement one once.
You
it was.
did?
Oh yeah, we took the light in there was
nice.
nice. We took lots of photos. We were ridiculous.
Yeah, we took pics.
It's nice.
We brought people in. We did some meet and greets backstage. And
you did a video down there, didn't you? Or was that a different show?
Yeah, we did like a TikTok.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, we were having fun.
People
and I
like
think
that one, yeah.
Like it follow you
the
up.
other bands we were playing with. The other
just
bands,
to go right in that side door, you know, like the.
Because it's cool. Some people would never ever get to see that.
Yeah.
You know? And it's exciting. You're like, it's right there.
The other bands.
Unattainable, you know? But unless you're.
Yeah.
You got your name on the door. It's got, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's really fun.
It's crazy.
The other bands we were playing with, like they don't like they're a little older, so like TikTok wasn't like their thing. So they were probably getting annoyed with us, like making all these videos and just. But we were having fun. We were just having the time of our lives.
You have to take those moments when because you're like, it took all of this to get here. I'm just going to take the extra time.
Yeah,
to document it.
You know, document
it. That's a huge priority for us when we have these shows. It's like we try to get Chad, who is, you know, like Chad's been like one of our guys. He's just a friend.
I love Chad. He's
he'll do whatever, right? Like he flew a drone into the Gardens.
I saw that.
And like we asked him, is this doable? And he's like, I don't know. This is like,
I'll make it happen.
But let's do it.
And he did say it like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're friends. For sure.
Yeah,
he's like, yeah, man, let's do it.
Yeah. And he did it. It was really cool. I saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's done all our music videos.
But like, if you do like a Gardens like show, that should happen again.
It'd be crazy. Well, so we did when we were in Duluth watching. So where it was at Amsoil Arena.
Yes.
Right.
And that was like speaking of like seeing cool stuff that you don't usually see.
Mm-hmm.
Because
we were backstage,
and so we went back there, and they had like a whole room dedicated to like us.
That's cool.
So it was literally like
what's in the room?
Food.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like your whole
like your rider?
Like no, not our rider.
It was Lover Boys' rider.
It was Lover Boys' rider.
He was like the Lockyer Boys and like their families coming. So like
we're gonna set it up for you.
Yeah,
room ready.
It was like a separate room to his room.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he met us in there.
And I was like, that's
how nice.
Yeah.
And there was like these little things that said like Lover Boy guest.
There was like,
We're
it
like,
was funny.
this
Like
is
there was,
You're
there
like,
was
I'm
beer
just
and
gonna put that
wine.
in my pocket and
We're
keep
just
that
getting
forever.
that.
Yeah, our dad put it on his phone, and it's still on his phone, but it's like too big for his phone.
Oh my gosh.
So like the sides
like,
hang
oh.
out a little bit.
And he's like, I don't care.
Yeah, he's
I'm
like, it's staying.
There was like,
Oh my
a whole
gosh.
table of like beer and wine, and then we just went for the 2 Cokes.
Yeah.
We're just like, 2 Cokes.
2
They
Cokes,
literally,
please.
yeah. Driving home, I'm like, Dad, is this for real? Like, are
Yeah,
you
did
gonna
that
leave
just
this
happen?
on your phone?
Yeah.
And he's like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I'll leave it on there until it falls off.
Is it still there?
The
Still
sticker.
on there, yeah.
Nice.
It's still
He'll be
on there
so
right
sad
now.
if it
At
falls
the
off
moment,
and
it's
he
still
loses
on.
it.
I don't even know where mine is.
Well, he might ask you
Someone
for it.
packed it up, I think.
Oh, no.
I didn't
gotta
throw
put
it out.
ours in
I
our,
You guys have to
wouldn't
go
do
back?
that.
We gotta put it in our
So
memory box.
it's we're getting close near the end of our interview, I
think
think.
so.
But we want to ask you what you guys have coming up for the new year, and also kind of ties into that similarly. Like, do you guys make New Year's resolutions, or do you anti-New Year's resolutions?
Do we make New
you
Year's?
follow
I mean,
through?
who
Like,
what do you
doesn't
do?
make
I
a
know.
who doesn't
I'm not
make a
anti-
mild New Year's
I always
resolution?
I
Right? Like,
never
even if
fall.
it's just like, I don't care if it doesn't happen, but I'm gonna put it out
Hit
there.
the gym.
Hit the gym.
That's
It's one,
everybody's always.
Right?
And I
Yeah.
say that too, like, gotta get healthy.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that's gonna be mine though. I think mine.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
You gotta think about it.
Someone think about it.
Yeah, I feel like our shows, maybe write more songs, but like, okay, but we gotta like, you can't just say write more songs.
I know, you
right?
gotta be
You need a
specific.
plan.
He's coming up with this just right on the spot.
Right now.
I'm
Okay.
literally
He's just
thinking
He's
deciding
thinking right now,
He's
and then
like-
he's gonna go back to the studio,
And
and
he's gonna be like,
he's
"This
gonna
is
not
my
talk
New
to you.
Year's resolution
I'm
that I
starting to see the
decided
face.
I
I
was
can
gonna
see it's like
have."
this. He's like, I can let it go. No, I can't.
You're like,
Yeah.
I will have an answer for you tomorrow.
Yeah, let
Yeah.
me calculate.
Let me calculate this.
I
Calculating.
think 2025 will be good though. We sort of ending this year was kind of like getting out of town more and more.
Yep.
Like we had the huge sort of like we had Live on the Waterfront, we had Live on the
Auditorium.
Waterfront, Auditorium, North Stars, all that stuff kind of happening at the same time, and it was like Thunder Bay overload. But that was really like our only shows in town because the only other show we did in town was in February for the Ontario Winter Games.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was really bummed I missed that, but it was so cold.
Oh yeah,
It was freezing.
And I was like,
insane.
maybe not.
But it was crazy.
It was
It was
awesome though, like
Yeah.
8,000 people.
It was.
Come on.
It was
Oh, we
nutcase.
should've
And
gone.
then we did it twice.
Yes,
Yeah.
you did 2
Another
days in-
8,000
Didn't
people.
you do it?
They gave
Yeah.
them all like lighter, like
All those sticks or
yeah,
whatever?
yeah,
Yeah.
and they were like
I
throwing
even
them
did the
all
math.
over
That's
the place.
16,000 people. Sorry.
It was wild.
It was.
And
Yeah,
then
cool.
that is a cool
ended
gig.
up
That is
getting
very
us
cool.
a show in Ottawa for like 800 people, like
Mm-hmm.
in this club room, two floors, and like we played in Ottawa, and it was awesome too. But back to the
Yeah, I guess what I'm
resolution.
trying
Yeah.
to say is like we do a lot of stuff out of town, and I
Right.
think that's we just wanted to get that happening more and more.
Of
Yeah.
course.
So like the
Like
start of last
broaden
year,
the-
we were in
Yeah.
LA. Start of this year, we'll be in LA. We'll be recording more.
You'll be in the warmth.
Doing shows down there, more shows like that Lover Boy show that we did
Yep.
was in LA. So just sort of
There's
getting
more
out,
opportunity.
Yeah.
getting to
Yeah.
Toronto,
Branching out.
headlining the Drake, all that stuff. So getting
Good.
out of town more and more and more and more and more.
I
Oh.
agree. I think that's a
Yeah.
good-
Yeah.
just as much as we can, and let's try to do some of the shows we do in Thunder Bay out of
But
town.
there. Well, we wish
Yeah.
you the best on that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
gonna
every
be
time
fun.
you do a show, like you never know who's going to be there, who's going to see it, right? So that's how, like
Yeah.
you said, you're getting
Right.
some of
Just
these
keep
gigs,
doing it.
and you just have to put in the work.
For
which you guys have
sure.
been doing.
So with our podcast, we always do a little speed round.
Oh, before that though,
Uh-oh.
the blueprints question.
Well, yes,
Yes.
there's
Oh,
a
sorry.
speed round, but then we have a
Sorry for
question
interrupting.
from Blueprints. So we are recording this in Blueprints,
Yes.
and they always do a little question.
Sick place.
great.
Yeah.
Super cool place.
I'll
Excellent
have
lighting.
to see if I can read this writing here.
If you're not watching the video, watch the video.
Yeah.
Watch the video.
And then you'll see the studio.
Yeah, we have a
Yeah.
snazzy clipboard.
Yep, Stanzy clipboard. Woo. Okay. Question from Blueprints. I got to try to read this chicken scratch. Sorry, Jean Paul. You've recorded in bedrooms, world-class studios across North America. What would your one studio superpower be?
One studio superpower be.
Yeah.
Okay, let's think.
This is speed round.
No,
No.
this is just a question.
I think Charlie's is the ability to like do it like in one take.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
We'll rock on then.
You're like, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Like
What happens if we take his hat off? Just kidding.
Yeah,
like, to
it all
elaborate
goes
on
away.
I can elaborate a little more. Like we'll do like 500
Of
takes.
course you will.
Yeah.
But often for
It's the
Charlie,
first one?
it's the first one
the first
or the
one's the
second.
best one. You're like,
it's the
"Oh,
first
man."
or second, and after doing it 500 times, you're just like, shit, he did it.
Right?
one
At some
was a
point,
good
you're just
one.
like, it's not getting
And
any
then you
better
just
than that.
flop
We
it
just
in
gotta,
and it
let's go home.
works. Yeah.
Let's get a Coke.
Yeah. Especially with like
Let's get a
piano
Coke.
too. Like we recorded a song in LA and like he literally played piano once and it was just like
No problems.
not even
Sounded good.
not even a click track. He just did it and it was just like great. It was a piano ballad, and
love
the
a good piano
guy
ballad.
just did it and it like we were all in the back room like listening and like they're all telling me like how is he doing this and I was like I can't do that.
That was your
Yeah.
studio superpower.
I'm like,
though.
not very many people can do that.
No.
No.
You were in the zone.
Boom.
It was good.
Yeah.
Wow.
What about your superpower?
I think Will.
Charles got to tell it. I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
I mean, Will he went to Berkeley College of Music.
Oh, you did. Okay.
So for those of you who don't know, that's like
Yeah.
that
the
is like
place
the
to
place.
It
be.
is.
Yeah.
Like you gotta be the real deal.
That's a pretty big deal.
And he came back, and now he knows how to do everything for everybody. Like he can do everybody's job for them. It's kind of insane. And we go to studios with like pretty crazy people. And somehow every time it's like Will's the guy that's like, you know, you can do this. And
I know
like,
the
they're like,
answer.
wait, what? Like, show me how to do that.
Well, you guys are going to have fun here at Blueprints then. Who knows what
Absolutely.
We've been meaning to
It's
get in here.
been
for
a
long
goal.
time.
It's been a goal. Yeah.
But yeah,
So-
Will's the goat at all
Okay,
of that.
that's good to know.
Okay.
Thank you.
So the speed round in the past, sometimes the answers are not that speedy, and that's okay.
We're calling
So
it
the
a
last
speed-ish
Speedish
round.
round.
We're gonna be here for another hour.
No,
doing
no,
this
we're
speed
gonna
round
try and-
questions.
I
Trust
swear.
me.
We're going to try.
I would love to be here for another hour.
I know,
Like,
let's
let's
hang
keep
it.
this
You guys
going.
have to
Hang
play
out.
some music
Yeah.
though, so.
Okay, cake or pie?
Cake.
Pie.
What?
I'm with you on the pie.
Pie.
I like pie.
Yeah,
It's,
agreed.
it's crust. Delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Questionable.
Oh, what is your all-time favorite movie?
A Star is Born?
Interstellar.
Okay.
Totally different movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Go-to midnight snack.
Reese's peanut butter cups with the Reese's pieces in them, like the extra large one. You
haven't
get them at
tried those.
Metro. I go to Metro all the time and I get like 3 or 4 and I just have them throughout the week.
When
I
you
do
need
like
them.
a good Reese's. Have you seen those half-pound ones?
Well,
It's like the big giant cup.
half
It's,
pound
like,
of,
it's like so
oh.
heavy. I'm like, what is this?
I feel
It's
like I've
half a
gotten those for
pound.
Christmas sometimes.
you gotta go like it's.
I have not tried that one. I love a good peanut butter cup, but
Yeah.
not with Reese's Pieces.
What about
okay.
you?
We often get like the half-pound bag of peanut butter M&Ms,
Oh.
like the big ones. You can just like, you ever have like, growing up, you have M&Ms and like you're always like, I'm gonna run out. You know what I mean? Or like, I'm having Smarties, like I'm gonna run out. Or I'm gonna like any sort of candy. You're like, I'm gonna run
So
out.
you need the big bag.
And now I'm like, you know what? I'm an adult.
I can buy
I don't
more.
want to run out. Like I want enough that
I'm getting the big
I
bag.
get sick of these M&Ms
Right,
before they
before I
get
finish
sick of
the
me.
bag.
Yeah. so
big or go home.
So I get the full bag, and
I love it.
oftentimes like I fall asleep and there's more left. I'm like, I can't have any more.
No
Like I just
more.
can't. I just like my body
Yeah.
can't do it.
You know, life is good when.
So
Yeah.
is that your midnight snack of choice then?
Yes,
Yes.
for sure.
Okay.
All right.
Who's the better dancer?
Yeah.
Watch the
Charlie.
video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Charlie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Big dogs or small?
Big. Oh,
Big.
great question. Great question. I
That's
talk
all
about this
Rebekah.
all the time.
But our
that?
dog Sheila is small.
Our dog's is
Hey, she's
medium.
not
You have a
tiny.
medium
She's,
size-
she's
She
medium.
looks like a big dog, but she's small. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
she's not shaped like a puppy. She's shaped
Right.
like a dog.
What kind of dog?
It's an Australian Labradoodle.
Oh,
Okay.
So it's like a Labradoodle, but
She's got a fan account on TikTok, by the way.
She's a fan account?
she does.
Someone made a fan account.
Oh, wow.
It's
Just
Sheila
for your
Lockyer
dog.
She's
FP.
come. She's
Okay,
come to
there
a
you go.
couple
Check it out.
shows, so she's
Yeah.
kind of a.
And,
And we put her in some of our videos.
at our show.
She was in our video the other day, actually.
Yeah, we
I
we
pick
bring
her
her
up.
around.
Aw.
She's kind of a big deal.
So she
Okay.
so she's not huge, but on the big she's
She's
like,
a huge deal.
she's a huge
but
deal.
she's not
Like a
huge.
big no.
She's got
Oh,
a
right,
big
there you
heart.
go.
But your answer is big dogs.
She's
but
about the size of.
My answer is medium dog.
this
Medium
pick her up?
dogs.
that is a pillow. You can pick it up.
Oh my goodness.
It is.
She's like
Bigger than that.
bigger than this. I needed it in my lap.
Right,
as a
just to
reference,
do the test.
But she's like,
Okay, a lap dog size.
watch the video.
Watch the video.
Yeah.
Not so I wouldn't say that's not a small dog.
Okay.
That's medium.
Yeah, it's not like a
medium.
puppy.
Medium dog.
Medium.
I'm gonna hang on to this.
You
a little
can.
longer,
You
if
can
that's
keep the
all right.
pillow. Okay, last
Yeah.
question. Would you rather climb a mountain or jump from a plane?
Climb a mountain.
Climb a mountain. We're going up, baby.
Exactly. Not
down.
falling
There you
down.
go. That's it.
I literally
Thanks for coming in, like
Thank you.
Shannon. Sorry, I cut Shannon off. We don't care what you're scared about.
I didn't say
I'm not
anything.
gonna say anything.
I love it. I love it.
Thanks so much. This was fun.
Well, thank
I'm not
you.
leaving, so
well,
I'm
you've
just
got the
gonna
pillow now.
sit right
Pillow,
here.
you can-
Time
yeah.
to go
And,
sing a song.
Yeah, you guys have to go sing a song.
No, you never meant to cut me off. You did 'cause you had to. I know that there was nothing we did wrong, and there was nothing that we could do. What if I still think about you? What if I still dream about you? What if I'm sitting staring at your number on my phone? But I know I shouldn't call. I'd still do it all again. I'd give you my heart and you'd break it. You'd write your number on my head. That 306 never faded. So take that knife and dig it in, and I'll just lay down and take it. I tried to erase all that you did, but that 306 never faded. I do it over and over again. You said you didn't want that year to end. Now it's like we never happened. You don't know how bad it hurts to pretend that I don't wanna send that text. Tell you how I feel about you, tell you I still dream about you. But for now I'll sit here acting like I'm not alone. Just wanna pick up that phone. I'd still do it all again. I'd give you my heart and you'd break it. You'd write your number on my head. That 306 never faded. So take that knife and dig it in, and I'll just lay down and take it. I tried to erase all that you did, but that 306 never faded. I do it over and over again. I tried to erase all that you did, but that 306 wouldn't fade. I do it over and over again.
Better in Stereo is recorded live in studio at Blueprints.
Audio engineering by Mac Davis.
Edited by Aaron Collins.
Mixed by Jean-Paul DeRober.
306, written and performed by the Lockyer Boys.
Watch the live in-studio performance on YouTube or at blueprintsaudio.com/betterinstereo.
Follow us on Instagram at Better in Stereo Podcast.
You can listen to Better in Stereo wherever you get your podcasts.